listen, the seesaw, man. We are on a delightful little seesaw here, which I think is the right way to do it.
It's pretty wild.
You've won.
I have won. I've defeated you 169 to 134.
So you've closed the point gap as well. We're down to like a dozen. Where are we at with points? We're under 20 points, I think.
Yeah, we're about, I think you're going to be up a little more than 20 going into week 9.
Salty CeeDee had himself a night.
Salty CeeDee did. You tried real hard to slend me a sloppy jinx, a pretty aggressive sloppy jinx. Sloppy hex.
Was sloppy. It was sloppy even by sloppy standards.
Yeah.
It was very aggressive. It was almost like with a wink and a nod. I knew that was game over. I'm like, CeeDee's definitely, you were only down 6 points going in. So I said, well, this is pretty much over.
And then I sent you in all caps that I reject your sloppy jinxes. And I'm convinced that if I hadn't sent you that, I would have lost. Yes,
that needed to come through. That transmission needed to be logged. Otherwise, you were definitely in trouble. Well, it's funny, too, because the psychology of this is it's just boggling. But because I shot my wad at 1 o'clock. I was done.
Yeah.
I had all 1 o'clock guys. It was kind of a low scoring week for both of us until Salty CeeDee explodes for you.
He had 2 touchdowns and like 60 yards in like 2 straight drives.
Yeah.
And then ends with 40 points, highest score of the week by anybody.
An effort out of CeeDee. I'm also pleased, and this is just petty shit, but I still like it. I still need it for my mental game to be in order, is that I stewed over the Hurts Lamar sit-start situation all week. I mean, I'm just tinkering. I was tinkering all week, but really it was at the quarterback. I was kind of just like, how can I, with Lamar on a tear like this, and going up against the Browns who suck, but it was a divisional game. And I was kind of like, I don't know, something about Hurts that I was like, I feel like they might have since his defense has sucked. So I was like, that could be a shootout. So I don't know. I was thinking about it, and it ended up being a -9 for what I went with. I ended up starting Lamar, and it was -9. So that was looming over the Salty CeeDee Sunday Night River for me.
And I had a similar, I swapped in Drake London and took out Jahmyr Gibbs. And then Gibbs had 24 points and a 70-yard touchdown, and London had his second worst game of the whole season.
4 catches for 34. Yeah, no, London calling. London was not calling.
Kirkland's going domestic. He's not going to London.
He's not.
And so I was having a similar watching Josh Allen and CeeDee with dread in my heart, hoping that decision isn't the thing that cost me the week.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people just don't know it until you have it. You have these decisions to make that are just brutal, like on a week-to-week basis. I mean, especially the quarterback's just going to be matchups, but like, I don't know. I still need to see it. I need to see a little bit of a stretch out of Hurts of this kind of play before I'm fully back on the train. But yeah, I
don't know. You're going to sit Hurts after he scores 37?
I mean, it's funny because Lamar had like not a great game and he had 28.
That's a fair point.
I do think matchups are important here, though, moving forward. I mean, and he has a bye. The Ravens have a late bye.
Murph.
Come on now.
Lamar plays Denver next week, and Hurts plays Jacksonville, who's the number 1 worst passing defense in the entire league.
Oh.
And then
juicy Jacksonville.
There is a 0% chance you're not playing Jalen Hurts this week.
I think that's probably fair.
There's no way.
I've
not
looked at the
Jalen
matchups.
Hurts. Are you kidding me?
I mean, Kelsey on your bench. You've got a tight end controversy going on in Midland City here right now.
I did put Kelsey on the bench, but
he scored his first touchdown of the season.
He did, although Trey McBride.
Yeah.
9 catches for 124 yards.
Listen,
I think I'm just sticking with him.
I think he's just going to be starting 2 tight ends at this point.
I might have to consider it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, these are going to be now very interesting with the seesaw back and forth there, and a 20-point. That's not really a point lead to speak of.
It's a joke how tied we are. It's crazy.
It is. This is insane. This really, after now 8, we're now at the getting to the midway point here.
Yeah. It feels weird we're at the midway point. I feel like emotionally it feels like we're in the final stretch. It feels like we have 2 weeks left.
I think it's just, it's because it's been such a battle every week back and forth. We've been watching these Monday Night Rivers. We've been looking at such close games where you're invested in every position now with making these roster decisions and there's no room for error with it being, I think this is the most emotionally demanding season so far. It does feel like we should be down the stretch here, but we're not even halfway there with this.
This back and forth is crazy.
I mean, just for some sort of context, this is also funny as a representation for the first time we're documenting this dance, is that this is just not a good representation of how this usually goes.
No, it's the only time it's happened.
Yes, in 9 years, this is the only time. Every week like this, and going back and forth on wins and losses. No, somebody has won it by now.
Yeah, normally at this point, someone's 6-2 and winning by 4,000 points.
Yeah, and we're offering some weird side bet.
Yeah,
where we're like, all right, what if we do something like this? Yeah, no,
and then it's just like, well, I could win 8 in a row. It's possible, you know.
Yeah, when you're not mathematically eliminated. Oh, that's torturous. I've been there too many times, Tom. That's a torturous place to be. Not mathematically eliminated. I puke in my mouth when I say that.
That's almost the moment you are eliminated, is when you say you're not mathematically eliminated.
When you say that out loud, you're drawn dead. Yeah.
The only exception of that is if the Washington Commanders are playing my Chicago Bears. That's the only. That's the only exception.
We didn't even talk about this. Jesus.
Oh,
yes.
my goodness.
Tom, I'm so sorry. What a gross. Did you see he was fucking taunting the crowd?
I saw that video real quick. I didn't see who that was, but yeah, taunting the crowd, and then he's the one that tipped it.
Yeah, he's the one who probably was out of position slightly,
right,
for that jump ball. That's just going to be a bad look. That's going to be a rough week for him in the locker.
I mean, that's bad. That's bad mojo. There should be some trade. He should go to the Philadelphia Eagles because him and Sirianni are.
Yes,
they're supposed to be together.
Yes, they are. The two chatterboxes. They're going to be just they can't. It's like the opposite of blocking everything else out. They're like, no, I'm hearing like individual fans yelling shit, and I'm responding to it. That's rough.
But so, you know, with that exception, when you say I'm not mathematically eliminated, you are eliminated, except for Commanders versus the Bears.
That's what he was shouting into the stands. He's shouting, "You're mathematically eliminated."
Yeah. So last week you casually floated a potential Breece Hall Malik Neighbors trade. You put that in my head, and then I stewed on that. And then I'm like, I'll do that. And I offered it to you. And then you countered with Breece Hall for Justin Jefferson.
That's right.
And then wrote me about how freakishly dead even it was. And I was like, what are you doing? I'm curious what happened on your end that made you jump from Neighbors to Jefferson.
Well, because Neighbors, it didn't feel like it was exactly right. So the thing remember when I said, I thought of another trade that I didn't want to say.
Yeah, what was that?
That was Breece for Neighbors and a waiver move.
No. Yeah,
I know. I said it's too sloppy.
Absolutely not.
To me, Neighbors for Breece is not even though. Like now Breece
I
also
don't disagree with you, but Justin Jefferson, come on.
Well, you don't really have anyone else then. That was the problem.
No, but you went for the tippy top.
Of course,
you shot for the moon.
Well, so London is someone now. Now we're talking about, because that was someone instead of Jefferson, I was talking about London because I told you that.
Okay,
I said I was between.
No, you didn't tell me that. You did not say that. The only thing you said is, you said, I see London, I see Breece, I see Midland City's Crease. What did you say?
I see.
We need exact language on that. What you said.
Yeah, let me just get the quote.
So you countered with wanting Justin Jefferson. I sent you a couple paragraphs of why I thought that was absurd.
Yes, you did.
And then your response to that was, well, then,
my response? ...
Oh,
yes. I see London, I see Breece, I see Midland sneaky Crease.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I responded that I had no idea what that meant. Also, I will say, not knowing what it meant, it did partially factor into me playing Drake London this week.
It's not. I creased you into it.
You did.
I cryptically creased you. I mean, listen.
But so what you were thinking about?
Yes,
you were thinking about Breece for Drake London.
I was between, which is why I shot for Justin Jefferson. I mean, these are how, this is 101 negotiations here.
But
at the two-man dance.
I understand that, but not really. In that, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this trade anymore.
Well, yeah, he's unhinged right now. Yeah.
If you had countered with London for Breece instead of Jefferson, I probably would have done that.
Yeah, because they're at like a dead heat.
So is this a real offer?
I mean, I feel like I would make that offer. Yes.
Interesting. But, all right, now I'll stew on this.
Because you're not going to find anyone better. Let me just say this real quick. You're not going to find anyone better than Breece Hall with a waiver is the thing.
I don't disagree. My biggest concern it's the record. They're 2-6. They lost. I would say that was a must-win against New England.
They're not mathematically eliminated.
Exactly. That's where they are. They're not mathematically eliminated. And then they go on the road to Houston this week.
Yeah.
So
Rodgers ain't coming back next year. From the darkness. What was his quote this week? He said, "I've been in the darkness before. You got to make peace with it," or something. It was a morbid quote.
It was morbid. They have. I mean, we said it in the draft. They have really bad vibes, and the bad vibes continue.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I don't know what to do about defense, Murph.
Oh my, Midland. Dallas is one of the worst. They're the second worst.
Oh my God, they're the second worst defense.
They've scored 42 points all year. Carolina scored 20.
Oh my God.
So they're in the negative 0. Oh my God. Yeah, this is just for fun. Just going to read this is Carolina, the Carolina defense fantasy points just week to week. 0, 8, 10, 0, -1, -1, -1, 5.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's rough. That seems like, yeah, that's hard to do.
The week 18 whispers are still whispering.
They're still whispering. They're going to start screaming. After Thanksgiving, they'll be shouting. They're going to come out of that tryptophan coma. They're going to come out shouting. There'll be no denying it.